All right, Bernie, how are you doing, my friend?
Feeling good, man. Doing well. Doing well. How about you?
I'm very well, really, really well. Thank you. And thanks for joining us. You guys watching, we're very lucky today. We're joined by Bernie Service. Am I pronouncing that correctly, Bernie?
Cevis, long E, Cevis.
Cevis. Ah,
Yeah.
Cevis. Okay. Sorry, Bernie. I
Okay.
should have had that one worked out by now, shouldn't I? Bernie Cevis, you guys. He's a certified personal trainer from Maryland. And he's just launched the Cardio Cross app. It's giving people the power to get shredded, lean, strong using boxing exercises that don't require spending hours in the gym. This is
hmm
really exciting. Bernie recently launched. We'll talk about his success he's had, so I won't give that away just yet. But what I do find really, really interesting is a quote I found from you in our Facebook community, Bernie, that said
Okay.
it's been an incredible journey and it's just the beginning. I actually started back in March on the 27th, but I fell off the wagon fell off on day 14 of the challenge, but picked it back up, and now you've seen some success. I won't give that away just yet. So that's
Okay.
really cool, Bernie. Thanks so much for joining. Maybe just kick off by telling us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I've um, been doing boxing and everything since really 2011. And I started actually personal training back in 2014. And I'm an athlete by trade, and so I played football since I was like 5 years old. And I really, after my career in football, I got into this place where I really wanted to just help people, and people would ask me, "What are you doing to stay in shape?" And so my wife at the time, we weren't even dating then. She was like, "You should really take this training thing seriously." And I got into it, and I love it, and just helping people really transform their lives. And what boxing did for me at a point in my life where I was really struggling, that's the same, opportunity that I'm trying to afford other people. And so, when quarantine hit the world, if you will, I saw your ad for, Passion, and I'd seen it like 2 or 3 times, and I was like, you know what? Let me invest in myself. Let me invest in this opportunity, and it's truly been life changing. So, I'm really thankful and really humbled and honored to even have this opportunity to talk about it, and just what it's doing for the clients, that the success that they're experiencing already, has been mind blowing, to be honest with you. So I'm really excited about it. So yeah.
That's awesome. Let's start there, Bernie. Let's start with the results you've had. So you did the 30-day challenge. You fell off on day 14. Tell us a bit about what happened.
Okay, so I went out the gate hard. I was like, let's go. I was all in, and even from the very beginning, with I think it's day one, you do the where you're dreaming your future. You have the whole exercise where you're sitting there and you're kind of just getting outside of yourself and seeing what you want to accomplish. And I was doing good, plugging away, and I got right around day 14. And I guess you can say I got cold feet. That's what it is when people get ready to get cold feet. I got cold feet, and I fell off for literally like a month. And I was talking to my wife, and she was like, "Well, look, you invested in this thing. Like you gotta do it. You talk about doing it, so you gotta do it." And so that very next day, I got up and I launched, and I had literally done all the work for launching. I had did all the day 11, day 12. I had everything ready and just hadn't launched yet. And part of it was a little trepidation, like, is it going to work? Are they going to receive it? Is it going to really help people? And the very next day I got up and I launched, because sometimes if you wait too long, you talk yourself or think yourself out of it. So I jumped right in the next day, and had massive response. Like like I said, it blew my mind. And so I just continued, and I'm actually now into my second launch, and it's been awesome. It's been awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys watching this is gold. So look, I see a bunch of you. You have C. Wallace. How are you doing? Rachel, Johan or Johan, Florencia. It's awesome that you guys are here live with us. It's an opportunity to ask questions to Bernie. And I think for both Bernie and I, what would be really interesting is to know who we've got here. So give us a number 1 in the comments if you have not yet launched. So you haven't got past that day 15 mark where you actually launch. And give us a number 2 if you have launched, so we know who we've got watching. All right. So Bernie, what happened when you got to day 14? What made you fall off the wagon? Like, I know you said cold feet, but like, what was going on for you internally?
You know, Dad, I think it was like fear of doing something new, because I've been a personal trainer now for 6 years, and so all the stuff that I've done has been in person, face to face, one on one. And so number one, I was like, is my price point going to be too high? I was like, are people really going to go for it? Do I have what it takes to see it through? You know what I mean? Did I do everything right? It was a whole hodgepodge of emotions that was going on. And then there was a little self-doubt. There was some self-doubt there, like, this really isn't work. I really can't do this. And it it's crazy because after I launched, it was like all that anxiety was for what? You know what I'm saying? What was I really concerned about? Like, none of the things that I thought was going to happen happened. Actually, the exact opposite happened. And so this is to anybody that's watching who's on day 14, who's stuck like I was. Like, I was literally sitting there for a month with everything ready to launch, unlaunched. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything was on my computer, everything was put together, the videos were done, and I was just sitting there like, am I going to do this? And I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever went swimming before, but when you go swimming, you get to the edge of the pool, you're just kind of looking at the water, you dip your toe in like it's cold, and so you kind of wait. It just jump in. Like, once you jump in, you get underwater, you're good anyway. You know what I mean? So once I jumped in, it's been life changing. Really has. It's been life changing.
Wow. Well, look, I've seen that we've got a mixture of ones and twos. So we've got people watching who haven't yet launched, people watching who have launched. So Rachel, C. Wallace, you guys who've not yet launched, give us the one sentence reason for you on why not, right? Have you just not reached that point in the process yet, or have you got something holding you back? Because what Bernie's talking about here is, could be gold for you guys. So Bernie, when you did launch, what happened? What results did you get?
Okay, so my first launch, I ended up signing 7 clients. The first launch, which was beyond my expectation. I mean, I said that, I wanted looking for a group of 10. I was expecting I might get 3 or 4. I got 7, and so was not expecting that. And the price point I spoke to 8 people, I closed 7 calls. So the price point for the people who closed, everyone was like, really, that's it? Like that's it. And so in my mind, I was like, this is too much. And they were like, yo, this is too little. You know what I'm saying? And so that was a calming thing for me, because I didn't want to overprice myself in a season where people are, a lot of people are struggling right now. So, but when you're providing value, and when you're giving actual value, people will pay for value. And I think that was another thing that I had to overcome through that 14-day stuck period, because once I really got into the launch and people started signing up and were like, this is amazing, this is awesome, I was like, I really am providing value, and the people, the one person that didn't do it, she was at a place where either I didn't display the value well, or she really wasn't able to financially do it. And that's okay. Everyone's not for you. And I think that's something else that I've really learned from this training, is that you can't serve everyone. You have a unique amount of people that's for you. And when you provide value to that group, you'll attract more people that are from that group. And so, yeah.
Let's come on to that, because when we contacted you, Bernie, and said, hey, we'd love to get you on this podcast, we asked you, like, what would be a topic that you think would be important to share with people watching. And you talked about the dream client, right? Identifying who's your person and who isn't. Why was that important for you to share?
Well, first of all, for me, I've been training for a long time. And so I've had the pleasure, or the affordability, if you will, to train a lot of people. In Maryland, I've trained at one of the biggest gyms in Maryland for 3-4 years before I launched out and did some other things. And so I've trained a gamut of people. And so this program and this app is very, very specific. And so I think that if you try to use a shotgun approach, if you will, or just hope you hit somebody, you're going to miss a whole lot of people. You're going to miss the real the persons that you can really help. And so, for me, identifying, first of all, from my own pain, what I went through and how boxing helped me, really helped me to identify that person, the person that's stuck in conventional training. You've tried a whole lot of things that hasn't worked. The person who's really busy and just doesn't have time to work or work out, and also the person who's dealing with some low self-esteem and some confidence issues. Boxing is a training methodology that really attacks that person and helps them to see who they are and to see that it's possible without picking something up and putting it down. That you can really just use your own body to change the way you look and change the way you feel. And more so because boxing it's not a workout where it's measured on, I picked up 5 pounds today, I picked up 6 pounds the next day. Boxing is all feeling, it's all internal. And so that understanding that internal change has to happen in boxing, it's what allows your body to start responding to it, and the confidence and everything external changes because what's going on inside changes. And so what I had to do to give you all some nuggets, Dan, I don't know if it was in the teaser video you did or what, but you gave this idea of how to identify your dream client. You said, ask your current clients what they like, or ask them why they're doing what they're doing with you. And so what I did prior to my launch was I sent out a message to like 15 or 20 of the current boxing clients that I have, in-person boxing. And I asked them, what's the biggest benefit to boxing for you? And so overwhelming, they were confidence and cardio endurance. And so I structured the language in my launch to that market. And so the people that I'm getting are people who are speaking, or that market it speaks to, that language speaks to that market. And so for some of you maybe who are already trainers, that was gold. I never thought about doing that before, Dan. Actually putting something out there that says, okay, to the people that I'm already training, what is it about my training that you like? Okay. And so now I'm going to use what you're saying, and I'm going to put that together in a package and put that out to the world. And so I'm attracting the people that like that. Okay. Not every fish bites off a worm. Some you need an eel, some you need something else. And so it's about putting that right thing out there. So yeah.
Wow.
That's what's...
As you just said that, Bernie, I immediately pulled out my digital notepad and I wrote down, I need to make that more explicit to people, because I think you're right. I talk about it in some webinars, but I haven't made it explicit in the challenge to really ask people. And it's absolute gold. And what I do talk about is having an authentic niche, right? Like, and by authentic, I mean like come from your own experience. And boxing has solved a problem for you. Therefore, you just know what problems people have, what the benefits are. It's like internalized, and it comes across while you're speaking, right? And therefore, your marketing just naturally converts because you get it, right? You know where the people are at and where they want to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Very cool.
Authenticity sells. People want real, flat out. So, if you got to give them the truth, you know what I'm saying? And your truth. And if you're giving them the truth and it's your truth and you're doing it in a passionate way, that market is going to speak. It's going to speak to that market. And you're going to get results.
Mm. Yeah. You could have done a million different things, right? Why is an app the right thing for you, and why now?
Well, I guess it's twofold. Number one, you might not know. In Maryland, all the gyms shut down on March 16th. So, I'm an entrepreneur. I work for myself. My business brand is Faithful Fitness. Believe you can achieve the impossible. And so, I launched out on that journey back in February of 2019. And so I've been, running, if you will, by myself since then. Doing well, helping a lot of people get a lot of great results. And, when quarantine and when COVID happened to the world, I immediately saw that the market was shifting and that I needed to get ahead of the wave, and that I had a lot of clients who were not going to be serviced, you know what I mean? And I needed to find a way to get my services to them where they were. and not only that, the other side of it is, when you're a personal trainer, you're exchanging time for income. And so, I've always wanted to find a way to leverage my time or to duplicate my efforts or to get my time back. I have a little girl, she'll be 2 next month. And, I've noticed and I've experienced the joy of being home with her during this quarantine, like on a regular basis. And so, I want to continue that, even after COVID is gone or after we have, however this turns out, I still want that time. And so, but I also still want to provide a quality service that's going to help people transform their lives. And so this app, first of all, you've put it together in a way that it's literally step by step. I'm not the biggest technological guy. I mean, I wear a basic Garmin, I got a regular phone. I'm not, gadgety and gadgety. But, you put the program together in a way where if you really just go step by step, you are going to have success. And I believe that. Actually, I know that when I started this, I told myself, I said, I'm not going to come. I said, Bernie, don't come into this like you know what you're doing, because you don't. And so I had to, if you will, pull my own ego back and say, just learn. And in just learning, I've had success. I've learned things from this program that I would have never expected. Like the first pancake, bro, game changer. Like that's a game changer. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm kind of a perfectionist. So, I just kept saying, get it done, just get it done, just get it done. And, going through getting feedback from my clients on, okay, how did this go? What needs to be changed? You know what I mean? Like, I'm really just applying all the steps that you give it, and it's been successful. It's been wildly successful. I've more than doubled my investment. So, yeah. I'm all smiles over here.
Well, that's so awesome. Rebecca just said that Bernie's enthusiasm shines through, and I could not agree more. Like the energy you bring to it is phenomenal. It's bringing energy to me. I had a 16-hour drive yesterday, actually driving from the UK back to Germany, and yeah, and you're giving me tons of energy. So thank you so much. I see Antoinette loving it as well. Sunny C. Wallace says the app is the only way to go. It's a no-brainer. Tammy says this is good. I just launched my app with Passion and it's been amazing. Congratulations on your success with your app. You guys, this is very cool. For those of you watching, and I see a bunch more of you have joined since we started, which is great. Bernie was just saying how his place of work, which for him is a gym, it might be something else, has closed down through, of course, through this COVID-19 pandemic. So let us know in the comments, I think, because it will help us understand where you're at. Give us like a letter Y in the comments right now if your place of work has been shut down and if you're using this opportunity to move online. And give us an N if you have not been affected in terms of like your place of work closing down and being sort of forced into this online move. I think that would be really interesting to know. So a letter Y if it has closed, and a letter N if it has not. While we're waiting on that, Bernie, what would you say was your biggest aha moment as you went through this process?
Oh man, Dan, that's tough. My biggest aha moment. I think that my biggest aha is that it's not as hard as it seems. And that's kind of a loaded statement, but I've thought about doing an app before. Probably about 6 months ago, I started seeing there's some people who I follow on Instagram, and they got apps and they got websites and they got all that. And I actually tried to launch a website on my own. And let me change that statement. With the proper help, it's not as hard as it seems. Okay, we need it. It's okay to need help. Okay, and like I said, the product that you put together, the training that you put together, the way that you structured it, having a mission every day to make sure that you're progressing forward. it's really a life changer. I would have never thought that I could have launched a viable app in 30 days. Never. I mean, now for me, it really took like 60 because I took the whole little procrastination route for a month. But even still, I could have launched in 30 days, and still, even in 45 or 60 days, what it ended up taking me, I would have not have seen that it would have got done this quickly, and been quality like this, and my clients are loving it. You know what I'm saying? My Facebook group, that I got messages now because people are responding, and you know what I mean. It's just it's been a game changer. And so the biggest aha is that with the right help, it's not as hard as it seems. With the right guidance, you truly can get it done. And passion has been the right guidance.
Cool. Well, yeah, thanks for saying that. I mean, my personal mission and the mission of the company is to create a path to success for people like you. You have such great content, such great enthusiasm. You can provide so much value to the world. And really, as you say, it isn't as hard as people think, as long as you have the right steps. And so if we can give you the steps, I mean, you're doing the work. It's you who's got the expertise and the energy and the charisma to bring that to life. Really, all we're doing is giving you, some guidance, and it fulfills me phenomenally to speak to you and to feel that working, because really we're just showing you the right direction, and you're doing the hard work.
Right.
On the other side, Bernie, I wonder if there was a moment through the process where it was really tough, really challenging, like a low moment that you could share with us.
Low moment. I don't know if it was day 11 or day 12. Whatever day, the day where you're really putting together your launch, and then you're going through the language. I was struggling. I think day 11 and day 12 might have taken me like 3 or 4 days to get done. And part of it is, you have this idea, you have this passion, you have this gift. Because everyone who's doing this has a gift of some sort that they're giving to the world, but it's how to put that gift into words, and put it in words that doesn't sound gimmicky and that doesn't sound salesy-ish. Is that a word? Salesy-ish? That's not a word. I just made it up, but it doesn't sound salesy-ish, put it together in a way that it's going to resonate with people on a deep level. And that was a challenge for me because, like I said, I've always in person. Like, I've always been the guy with the career. I've always been that person, but to deliver that same message and you can't see me face to face yet, that was tough. That was tough. And the other side of it that I guess would have been tough was, through this process, this idea, I guess this ideology has come to me that, the statement is, without sacrifice, there's no commitment, and without commitment, there's no success. And so, I've had to really, make some self-sacrifices to get this thing done. Like, I recorded one of the videos at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Not because I woke up at 4 o'clock, I hadn't went to sleep yet. You know what I'm saying? I was up at 4 o'clock. I'm out there, 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm out there dying, but I had to get it done. You know what I'm saying? And that was a sacrifice, but the sacrifice was worth it. To see people in the group, the brave hearts, that's what we're called, in the group, and they're just talking about how it's changing their life, it's changing their mindset. That little sacrifice was worth it. So, the hard part is making up in your mind that, first of all, the passion that you have, people need. Okay, people need that gift. But secondly, it's going to require some sacrifice for you to get it to them. And so, just be ready for the sacrifice. Make up in your mind that you can do it and you will do it. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Yeah.
Okay, so I see in the comments that a lot of you guys, Florencia, Rachel, Leah, Rebecca, Kaza, Tammy, Craig as well, a lot of people have been unable to work because of this coronavirus thing, and are using this as an opportunity to move online. And I think what's really interesting, this has been a forced hard reset on our lives, right? And we've spent a lot more time at home, a lot more time with the people that we love, hopefully, not all of them because of
Right.
separation, right? But I didn't mean that we don't love all the people we live with, Bernie. What I meant was that we don't get to see all the people we love.
You.
Yeah, you got me. Yeah, and I find it really interesting because while it's, you know, in many ways a horrific thing that's going on, there are positives to take from it. And I see, you know, one of the things I love about our community is that we are positive people who see the glass as half full, right?
Right.
And see the opportunities. So that's fantastic. And what I also love, Bernie, about what you just said about day 11 and day 12 being really hard, I can see already people here. Sunny says on day 11, rewriting again. Just get it done, repeat, right? She's taken from what you just said, right? Shalar is on day 11 right now. Yeah, interesting. So I want to pick up on something that I think earlier C. Wallace said. Was it C. Wallace? Yes, it was C. Wallace, and also one other person said that they're building a following first before then going past day 14 and actually launching. And so I hear this a lot where people say, hey, I don't have a big social media following. I need, you know, thousands of followers before I can do this. Bernie, what's your like what's your social media following like?
Okay, so on Instagram, I have somewhere around 800 followers. Nothing like, you know, brag home about, if you will. And then on Facebook, I think I have somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 friends. Part of that is because I was the college I went to, you know, we had Facebook like first, back when it was just a college thing, you know what I mean, way before it became what it is now. And so, you know, I've had Facebook for a very long time. Like, for instance, my name on Facebook is just Bernie because that's how I set it up. Way back then, there's no two names. And so, you know, Mr. Zuckerberg has asked me several times to change it, and I haven't changed it. So, needless to say, you know, that's just how old my Facebook is. But the notion that you really have to have a following, I kind of have to challenge that because, you know, as far as in my training career, I've trained well over 2,000-3,000 people. Actually, boxing clients, I've boxed with more than 1,000 people. And the people that are doing this challenge, only 2 of them are previous clients. All the rest of them are just people who are on Facebook. And not all of them are my friends. So I don't know what day it was, you said just it was 10 different social media platforms that you should be posting on. Pick 2 of them and do it. I just picked Instagram and Facebook because those are the only 2 that I really use. And you know, the majority of the people that are in the challenge right now they weren't friends of mine on Facebook. They had never done any type of classes that I taught. So you honestly can make an impact with whatever social media network that you're on, whatever platform that you're using now, you can make an impact. You know, take it from a person who's been training for 6 years and only 2 of his clients that are doing the challenge are prior clients from in-person training. It just goes to show that, you know, passion speaks, value speaks, and if you narrow your market down, you're gonna hit those people. So.
Nice. We have a question here from C. Wallace. Like, who is your niche? How do you define that?
Well, my niche for the challenge is boxing. You know, that's the niche type of training modality that I use. And it's boxing that you can do without being in a gym and without, you know, having a boxing coach, if you will, without having boxing gloves and a heavy bag. But to narrow it down even closer, I'm looking for the person who's struggling with cardio endurance, the person who is at a place where they feel stuck with regular training, like they've done CrossFit, they've done yoga, they've done big box gyms, they've done Pilates, and they're still at this place where they are struggling with the way they look and the way they feel. My ads are targeted to people who have low energy. And they're also targeted to people who just want to do something different. You know, the fitness industry right now, everyone seems to be doing the same thing. And so boxing is different. And so I'm not looking for the person who loves picking up heavy stuff. That's not the person I'm looking for. I'm not looking for necessarily the person who just loves running all the time. I'm looking for the person who has some confidence issues that they want to address, who has tried a lot of things and it hasn't worked, and who feels stuck in conventional training and want to do something different. And so that's who I'm targeting. And so out of that, do you get a little bit of this and a little bit of that? Yeah, but that's what my line is being cast towards. That person.
Right. So you guys watching this, if anyone's thinking about, like, you know, I don't have a big enough following, or if I go too specific, then my small following it's not going to resonate. I think I agree with Bernie, and I would add that if you imagine the real world, right? Take the social media world, put it in the real world, and you imagine you're in a big room where you are speaking in front of 200 people, right? 200 people, it's quite a lot of people. And you have the opportunity to say whatever you want for as long as you want, as often as you want. You can bring those 200 people into the room as often as you like. And everyone in this room, when they hear something that you say, they have the ability to immediately run outside and grab one of their friends that they think it's interesting for, and they bring them into the room as well. And all of a sudden, having 200 followers on social media, where each follower has the ability to then share what you're saying with someone else, Bernie's just said, a lot of his clients were not friends of his on Facebook or Instagram. They must have come through referral, therefore. So you guys, you have to think about how powerful it is, even if you might think, oh, 200 people is not a lot of people, or whatever, however much you've got, all right? And you've seen, I mean, Bernie's got a couple of thousand Facebook friends, which is great, but he's also had Facebook many years, and probably a lot of those people are no longer on Facebook, or maybe it's not, like, maybe they're old friends who he doesn't really know anymore. So you guys, you have to realize that that it's a much more powerful tool than you think, and the key is just taking that step and really launching. Yeah. Maggie said you are really identifying what your client needs. Did you ask a lot of clients about that?
Yes. So in the beginning, I sent out a message to 15 of my current in-person boxing clients, and I asked them, tell me, you know, what is the number one reason why you box? Like, why are you doing this? And it's funny because I've never asked them that before. So thank you, Dan. I never thought to ask them that. And so by asking that question, that helped me to identify what to put in the launch. But it also helped me to reflect on why I started boxing in the first place. And so the same passion and energy and that pain center that I had, I was able to then put into the launch. And so it spoke to people who are struggling with the same thing. So I asked 15 people, and then I looked at myself like, okay, why are you doing this? And I encourage all of you that's whatever your launch is, I don't know what it is, you know, it might be dance, it might be, I don't know, art, whatever it is, go back and look at why you did it. Like, what caused you to pick up the pencil, or to pick up the put on the ballet shoe, or to sit on the piano? What caused you to do? And if you speak from that place, because it's a real, authentic, passionate place, you're going to resonate with people who have that same desire and have that same need.
Yeah, 100% agree. You guys watching this, let me know in the comments on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like, this is resonating with you, it's actionable, it's awesome, and you're going to do something differently after today than you did before. That's 10. 1 being, this isn't relevant to me, right? Give us a score 1 to 10 in the comments section so we see that as well. And what I would say while you're doing that is, this is like, we're live right now, right? You're asking questions, we're here, we're talking. Bernie's had success with this process. A lot of you guys haven't yet launched. This is your opportunity to ask questions, right? Like, share your questions in the chat right now, because Bernie can answer them, I can answer them, and yeah, we can help. Rebecca's given it a 10, Samantha's given it a 10. This is very awesome. I love that. Very cool. It's giving me a lot of inspiration, and I can see from the comments that it's very inspiring for a lot of you as well. As I said, this is so good. I can relate to everything Bernie is saying, especially about the challenge of showing your gift to the world through words when you're so much more of a people person. and shine when you're in person. Yeah, it's very different not being present. I felt like I was the only one who had a difficult time with this. Thank you for sharing.
I'm with you. I'm with
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So Bernie, what actually helped you get unstuck in that? Because maybe this is something I can share with people. What, like, you know, in the challenge moving forward, what helped you get unstuck and get your charisma, your personality into words?
Dan, I think it was what I was just saying was I started to reflect on why I got into boxing. And you know, I started to look at why I got into it and what the result was from me getting into boxing and how it changed my life. I mean, I'll give a short story on what happened. I was a professional, not professional athlete. I was well, I ended up being professional. Anyway, I played college football, played up in Minnesota, and I broke my foot, which would have been my senior season. We won the national championship. I never played. I fell into a slight depression. I didn't know I was depressed. A lot of times when you're down like that, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? I was in a dark place, and so long and short of it, I got asked to be in a race, like a running race, against the backup quarterback from the football team, and I lost, and I fell flat on my face, literally, like you've ever seen Bambi or like a newborn giraffe, how their legs? That's how my legs were because I was so deconditioned from after I broke my foot. This was about a year after I broke my foot. Long and short of it, I ended up walking into a boxing gym in Lake Superior, Wisconsin called Twin Points Boxing. Changed my life. Brought my confidence back because at the time I had dropped out of school. I had lost my scholarship. I was done. And so after walking into this boxing gym, changed my life, turned my life around. And a year later, ended up walking into a semi-professional football team, made the team, did really well that season. And my life has just been on an upward trajectory ever since. And so when I came back home to Maryland, I immediately started helping people who were struggling with the same thing via boxing. And so I had forgotten about that story until day 11, day 12. And I was struggling with how to put, the service into words. And then I started reflecting on, well, why did you start boxing? And once I started looking at what really happened with me, it was easier for me to speak about my own pain in that launch. And that passion, that truth is what came out that's what came out into words and what allowed that day to, that launch to take off the way it did. So, yeah.
Wow. We have a question here from Rebecca, and I think we did touch on this briefly at the beginning, but also it was before a lot of people who are here now were here. So you said you got stuck on day 14 and then you waited for a month to launch. What actually changed? What was the trigger for you to go ahead?
The first thing that changed was my wife was like, hey babe, what you doing? You invested this money, what's going on? But then the other thing that changed was, I've always been a person who believes that if you start something, you should finish it. Even if it doesn't work, you should finish it. And I had stopped because of the fear of it not working. And so after having that conversation with her and then just looking at it and hearing that statement that you kept making, it's your first pancake, it's your first pancake, it's your first pancake. I was like, you know what? If it don't work, it don't work. But I'm not going to walk away from this and feel like I never tried. And I've always been a competitive person, and so in my life now, my competition is against me. Can I push myself to be better than I was yesterday, today? And so that mindset is what the very next day I launched. I didn't want to think about it anymore. I didn't want to ponder over it anymore. I didn't want to allow myself to second guess and third guess, and because after a month you're going like guess 26. I didn't want to do that anymore. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to launch. And so I just put it out there, and I just sat back and waited. And saw one response, then I saw another response, and so then it started to build a little confidence and a little momentum. I was like, well, let me get this done. Let me get this done. But it came from a decision saying, you know what, let me just get it done. And then once it's done, then I can look back and say, okay, let me change this and let me change that. But if you don't get it done, you'll never really have anything to improve upon. You'll have nothing to make better if you don't take the step to get it done. And so that was what changed for me. My wife was like, babe, and I was like, you're right. And I was like, Vern, come on. So
you know, there's two things I think that's amazing about that. The first is that I speak to a lot of passion fighters, right? And actually more often than not, their families are rather concerned for them and rather like holding them back in terms of not holding them back. They're more like they care for them and they're worried that they'll fail or they're worried that they'll be upset or whatever. And so a lot of the time the families are the ones saying, you know, maybe you shouldn't do this and that. And what's really amazing, and I want you to give your wife a big hug to say thank you for this, is that she's like, no, you know, Bernie, like you can do this, you know. She's bigging you up, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
And Bernie also, I think I've read a lot about habits. I think I'm really fascinated by habits, and something that that it like is bred into us is like, once we build up a habit, it's easy to maintain it. Once we lose a habit, after like 2-3 days, it's super difficult to pick it back up, right? We know this, and you did that, and I really think, you know, I want to celebrate you for that. It's not easy at all.
Appreciate it. It's not easy. Awesome book on habits, Atomic Habits.
Yeah, I've read it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, my man. All right, excellent. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah, it is. All right. So, any more questions from the chat? Let me have a look here. This is awesome, you guys. Florencia is saying this is great. Keep it up. Laura says, this is exactly what I needed to hear. I'm in the middle of my first launch day and was worried I won't reach enough people.
Excellent.
Very cool.
Can I say something to that real quick, Dan?
Yes, you can, Bernie, of course.
So my first launch day, I think I reached maybe like 12, 13 people. By day 4, because of my consistency, that's when I really started to see this rush of people. So the first 2 or 3 days, no one really hashtagged, you know, the call to action phrase. It wasn't until like the end of day 3, day 4, day 5, where it was like boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? And so just to those of you who are in launch right now, I encourage you to keep going, stay the process. Just keep pushing because you will see success from your efforts. You will get the results that you're looking for. But if you stop, you're not going to get anything. So just keep going.
100%.
You got it.
Rebecca. Yeah. Rebecca says, my husband keeps telling me I can do anything, which is fantastic. Done a lot in my past but got more careful as I got older, get more careful as I get older. I've got to get back to how I was when I was younger. Yeah, I think that's also a common thing, right? Like the film Catch Me If You Can, I recently watched. It's a fantastic film. You've probably seen it, right? It's a classic. I recently watched an interview with Frank Abagnale Jr., I think his name is, the real guy, right? And he said like the number one reason he could do it is because he was 16 years old and he believed he could do anything. He had no fear. And look what he did, right? It's insane, like convincing people he's an airline pilot and all this sort of stuff. So look, this is Bernie, I've really loved this. I got so much value from it, and it's helped me identify different things that I can really hone in on the training for people. I see that there is a ton of people watching who what the kind of challenges and the kind of the experience that you've had is really resonating with them and helping them move forward, which makes me eternally grateful, because I love the fact that that Passion as a platform is helping you. And I also love that now me and you talking is helping others, right? It's like a snowball effect. And so I'm very grateful for that. Thank you. I have one last question for you, Bernie, which is, imagine you're walking down the street, you bump into someone and they say, oh, Bernie, I saw you yesterday on this Passion to Profession podcast with Dan. I'm thinking of doing the Expert Unleashed Challenge. I'm thinking of launching my own app, but I'm a bit skeptical. I don't really know if I should do it. I don't know if it'll work for me. What would you say? Imagine you're speaking to that person right now. What would you say to them?
I would tell the person to become a student and trust the process. That would be the number one and number two tips I would give that person. And number three would be that it works. If you become a student and try not to re-engineer or remake the wheel, there's a reason why so many people now have applications for going through this process, because it works. And secondly, go through the process. You can't cook a turkey in 15 seconds. You got to put that thing in the oven. It's got a slow roast. It takes time, you know. And so, but it's not that much time. Just go through the process. And then the third thing would be to have faith and know that it's going to work. You gotta believe it, that it's going to work. And so every day that you're doing your mission, you got to put that belief. This is going to work. This is going to work. This is going to work. And by the end of that thing, you'll see some results that you would have never imagined. Yeah.
That's so awesome, Bernie. I'm glad this is recorded, because I'm going to play that every morning when I wake up. Like, get me like hyped up. Yeah, get me going, right? That's really awesome. Thank you so much. And for those of you watching, if you have like more technical questions about how to use the platform, I am actually going live in 9 minutes inside the Expert Unleashed Challenge Facebook group. So that's not the Passion Fighter Facebook group, it's the Expert Unleashed Challenge Facebook group. If you're not yet a member, then feel free to just search it and request access right now. In fact, Liam from the team, if you are still watching, feel free to just post a link to the Facebook group in the chat, or anyone else. And I'll be going live answering, just ask me anything, Q&A. A lot of times people ask me about questions on how to use the platform and whatever. Look, Bernie, thank you so much. It's been really inspiring for me, and I can see everyone watching. Thanks so much for the time. Is there anything else you want to share?
Just believe that you can do it. Trust the process, and don't stop. Don't quit. You know, have determination. Make up in your mind that if you made the decision, once you said, Dan, I'm going to join into this program, you hit the yes button, see it through to completion. Don't give yourself an excuse to stop. And you remember that you're providing a service that people need, and that reminder will propel you to keep moving forward. Somebody needs what I have. I got to give it to them. So you guys are great. You guys are passionate. Use it, fight with it, and we're gonna change the world.
So awesome.
Change the world.
Thanks so much, Bernie. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you if you're coming in 8 minutes inside the Expert Unleashed Challenge group. Bye for now.